What made you lose respect for someone? Living with her. My brother's ex-wife. It was after Thanksgiving dinner at the table that she decided to just let it all out that she didn't love him, had been cheating on him for years, and that abortion bill he paid wasn't a hospital coding error. They have 2 children, and my brother's is an Iraq veteran who already has problems from that. He comes home and not even a year later is hit with that. I still see her often as they exchange kids after the divorce, but I literally look right through her, don't say a word, and have avoided acknowledging her existence entirely. Smugness. I can't stand smug attitudes. How he treated women's. Anytime someone's talked behind another's back to me, that's when I know I'll most likely avoid any further interactions with them. One example would be when I was in orchestra in HS. We were just assigned our placements and my new stand partner turns to me and goes, "Don't talk to the girl behind us. She's annoying," and I just looked at her like WHRN. I came to my friend's home and opened the door. With key he gave me, I cuffed him fucking his couch. Lying. I immediately tune out when I feel deceived or lied to. I know someone who said his daughter was good enough to compete in gymnastics at the Olympics, but he wouldn't let her because there wasn't a career in it. Went on a date with a girl I had been talking with for a couple weeks. She waits until we are in person and about 2 hours into the date to casually mention she has genital herpes. That's something you need to tell someone ASAP so they don't waste their damn time. I quickly ended that date. I'm not getting a STD for anyone who betray me. When my ex-friend got pregnant shortly after we graduated high school, she invited me to a party, and when I got there she was so drunk I almost lost my shit. I remember telling her, "I can't believe you're drinking while you're pregnant, what the actual fuck is wrong with you?" before I turned around and left. You should respect me, I'm old/older. I know more than you do on any given subject. Disgusting person. They shared their crazy-ass political opinion. Driving drunk or impaired. My best friend of 30 years was my maid of honor in my wedding. She waited till the week before to tell me she wasn't coming. Failure to recognize that anything Donald Trump says post the 1st of June 2021 should be given any credence or attention. If nothing he had done beforehand hadn't convinced them, then surely an attack on the Capitol and his reluctance to protect members of Congress should prove that he has no honor, no integrity, and no conscience. However, I still have family members who like his policies, or think he should have a role in promoting the COVID vaccines. No. The man should be in prison. When they said in the first real conversation that I had with them, that they hated black people. Happy cake day op. When she called my brother a devil for not doing some homework, who is her only son. Over fucking homework. Someone who feels the need to one-up you all the time. One of my best friends since childhood had nothing to say when my brother died. He passed away unexpectedly and was only in his 20s, and I flew in from out of state to help my family with the funeral. All my friends in town rallied around me, but she was mysteriously missing. She knew about his passing for over a week but didn't call, text, or come to the visitation. My friends took me to one of their houses after the funeral to feed me and let me cry. She told one of our mutual friends later that she was mad at me for not inviting her personally to come hang out after the funeral with everyone. When my ex told me she didn't want a relationship, she just wanted friends with benefits. Like, I'm sorry, but I've treated you better than anyone in her life and all you can think about is fucking BCR the GD horny. Answered Thea's cell phone during a movie, in a theater. This was BT, before texting. Stayed at a nice hotel with cousin and wife, took a duplex apartment because it was bigger and worked out cheaper than if we took separate individual rooms. Came to check out and my cousin split the bill 3 ways, not 2. Making it more expensive for my wife and I. Later learned she is a compulsive miser, always orders the cheapest thing on the menu, etc. Lame. Watched my grandfather throw a heavy set of keys at the neighbor's cat with the intention of killing it. Thankfully, he missed. I've never been able to look at him the same way again. A friend of my BF posts on FB a photo of his car, totaled and flipped over, with this long caption about how grateful he is that he survived, how the fact he walked away from this means life has so much more in store for him, blah blah blah. Really milking the sympathy. So many people were responding saying it's a miracle he survived, this is a sign that he's on the right path in life. My BF messages him to ask what happened. He was driving drunk. Friend of mine I had known since grade school decided to attempt suicide. This got pretty much everyone on high alert, to a point where my ex I refused to talk to called me up at 3 AM saying I have him at my house in case anything happens. Since said friend is hard to get a hold of, I contacted my other childhood friend, all three of us are mutual friends, to figure out what's up. Thankfully, he got the help he needed, but what grinded my gears was when he was out 2 days later drinking his face off like nothing happened. Apparently, everyone else thought it was just another Saturday night. The real kicker, apparently this is something he's done multiple times. From what I'm told it's to get attention. Safe to say, I won't be running if he cries wolf again. Manipulating me and using me as if I was nothing and only then to affect my future because of it. School sucks. One of my friend back in time. I don't call him a friend anymore. One day his mom called and told me he slapped her. He used to beat his mom. And when I confronted him, he said his mom is mentally not stable. I stopped talking to him, cut all ties. Few years later I got oh no he sexually abused his GF. Liars. I have no trust for someone who doesn't tell the truth. Even if it's a joke or a prank, I cannot trust you anymore. Always wanting me to join their MLM and realizing that they never wanted to just hang out. My former best friend has been dating my sister-in-law for 20 years now. Over the years he has cheated on her multiple times and I kind of ignored it. She knew so it's not like I was keeping a big secret. The final straw was 7 or 8 years ago when we were hanging out and he said he hooked up with my wife's cousin. I told him not to say anything else and he kept pushing it. A few days later he shows up at the house and is asking if he should pursue it. I told him that's up to him, but he better tell Sil the truth. He didn't pursue it, but he still kept trying to tell me about it. I cut him off and told him he needed to leave. We still see each other and talk at family functions, but haven't hung out at all. My wife just told me last week her and her sister were talking about how they can get us to hang out again. I bluntly told her it's never gonna happen and she looked surprised at my reaction. She had never asked why we don't hang out and probably just assumed we drifted apart, but didn't push it. After graduating college, my little from my fraternity became a different guy than the one I knew. He was with his girlfriend of 3 years and he started to cheat on her. With multiple partners, from both sexes, and used her apartment for some of the rendezvous. Just in general, he was completely disregarding her trust and he wasn't being safe. He passed an STD onto her. Haven't talked to him in probably 9 years because of it. In the middle of a conversation, he said, "I'm okay with black people. I do have a problem with N/Cs. Ever since I was little my eldest sister never treated me right so I don't think I had any respect for her to begin with. But I'd say the main point I realized she was a genuinely terrible person was when the news reached me. My family keeps everything a secret from me for whatever reason, that said sister was going to court because she was gonna lose custody of her children. Why? She refused to leave her abusive boyfriend who also most likely hit her children as well. One of which isn't his. So it scares me even more when he's around the child. She's still with him today and is even engaged. Another thing to point out is she's always had a gross fondness of the Joker and Harley Quinn's relationship. Always lying and blaming everyone else for their bad choices. He said I think Trump gives great speeches. I was interested in a guy. His family would camp at a campground near my house. One weekend they were camping and he walked over and we took my new dog Rosie for a walk. She got spooked by something and refused to move. He took the leash and pulled on her hard enough to make her yelp. I only finished the hangout because I had shit for boundaries. Never saw him in person again after that, and definitely lost all romantic interest in him. And this was before he interrupted me by putting his hand over my mouth, and also before he told me my mom looked mannish. 2 different instances, same day. So yeah. Hurt my dog and you can fuck off forever. Rosie was okay. No damage was done. She was a large black lab and lived a good life. We had to put her down this past October. She was about 10 years old. The lack of mutual respect. When they started arguing with me that coronavirus was fake. When people lie, for no reason, nobody rushed into the room with a gun and asked where underscore was, and expect you to co-sign their BS. With